wanted to talk about something that's been coming up a lot in sessions recently, and it is the difference between the situation we're living in versus the feeling we have about that situation. So, if let's say from a situation perspective, we have a lot to do. So let's just say, obviously very typical from a leadership perspective, that we have a very long to-do list. And the feeling we're experiencing is stress. So often in a session, someone will come and say, listen, I'm feeling really stressed right now. I just got a lot going on. I've got more to do than I have hours to do it. And hence I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm not in a good place. And so what we tend to do is we collapse these, right? We say, because of this, this is happening. But in my experience, those are separate, right? If I have a lot to do, if I have more to do than I can possibly do, and I have the interpretation, the thought that, well, listen, I mean, I have too much to do. I don't have the hours to do it. So I'm just going to do what I can do. And what I can't do, I'm just not going to get done. That kind of thinking does not result in stress, right? That kind of thinking, irrespective of the fact that I have more to do, that I'm overloaded, I've got more to do than I could possibly get done, does not equal this, does not equal that. Now, on the same token, if I have a lot to do and I feel like I really need to get all that done, because if I don't get that done, I'm going to get fired, or people are going to think badly of me. They're going to think I'm incompetent. Whatever thinking I have around having a lot to do, well, that would likely result in some kind of stress, some level of stress, some level of overwhelm. That would result in this. And what's interesting to see here is that situation does not equal feelings, right? We so often bring those together. I feel this way because of this. No, we feel a certain way because of the thinking we might be having around the particular situation we're living and what we happen to be focusing our attention on. I might have a lot to do, more to do than I have hours to get it done in. And if I take a moment and just decide that I'm going to enjoy a cup of coffee and not think about all of the things I have to do, so my awareness is not on that, well, then I'm not going to feel stressed in that moment. Even in those instances, and listen, there are so many leaders that are going through massive restructuring in their organizations, and teams are getting smaller and more is being put on the people that remain. And so the experience of overloaded is happening. I'm not suggesting that that is not something that is real. What I'm suggesting is that even in the space of overloaded, we may look at that experience and in a moment feel like, well, I can't do it all, so I'm not going to. And that does not result in stress. And other times, that same person in that moment go, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. There's no way I'm going to get it done, and feel stress because they feel like they should be getting it all done. Right? So it's not like we are, in order to not feel this, let's all just feel like, well, I'm not going to get it done, so I'm not, right? Because it's not how our thinking works. Our thinking fluctuates. We don't control it. It comes and goes. We get identified with it for a certain amount of time and then we let it go. And so I'm not suggesting, well, think this in order to not have this. What I am suggesting is that the more we look towards the reality, the truth that our feeling, our experience of something does not come from the situation, that it comes from whatever thinking we might be having in that particular moment, the less identified we become with that thought, the more it comes and goes, and the less this becomes an issue that needs to be solved, that needs to be dealt with. There may be something we need to do here or that we want to do here. There might be a conversation we want to have with our superior. There might be some prioritization that we want to do. But it's to deal with the situation. It's not to deal with the stress, because the stress comes and goes. Our thinking comes and goes. This is where there might be action to be taken. And it's in order to handle whatever situation we are finding ourselves in. It's not to reduce our stress. So play with that. Look in this direction and see what you see.